All right, so here we go. You're gonna notice that when I switch into the video, I'm sitting and I changed. That's because I almost do this video way, but then I realized I can't. I took about 12, 13, 14, 15 years of my life and threw that away because of food allergies. I was diagnosed with, oh geez man, ADD, ADHD, bipolar, depression, seasonal depression disorder. Dude, I had so much stuff, man, I forgot. And because of all of those things that I had, I was on Adderall, Ritalin, Tegretol, lithium, clonidine, Prozac. Oh man, the list goes on and on and on. And yeah, didn't really help me. I just felt crazy. And it was when I started cleaning up my diet by accident that everything disappeared. So I'm on nothing now. I can read, I can do whatever I want to do, which I was told I was never going to be able to do. And there was nothing wrong with the cereals and the Pop-Tarts and all that American stuff that I was eating. It was me. And yeah, man, they couldn't have been more wrong. So because of that, this is a pretty personal topic. A few of my friends watched the video when I was gonna throw it away and they said, dude, you can't, man. You gotta keep doing this. So, without further ado, I'm gonna change my shirt, sit down, do the video I filmed a little bit while back, and then bam, like magic, I'm gonna be like this again when I say peace out. All right, so that brings us to fact number 2. Ansel Keys and Jeremiah Stammler were the Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld of nutrition. Now you might be like, whoa, who are all these people? I'll start backwards and go forwards. Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld were the Bush administration in the Iraq War. I don't think anything else needs to be said. Now, Jeremiah Stammler and Ansel Keys, those guys are responsible for about 99% of what we have as nutrition education today. They were the creators of the diet heart theory, which believes saturated fat and cholesterol lead to the thickening of the arteries, therefore heart disease. And why that theory sounds great, and there's a lot of science that backs it up, the more and more we look into the science and also them as people, we are realizing that they kind of had a vision, what they thought was true, and nothing really would get in their way. And as we read personally about them, as people did get in their way, just like Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld analogy, they basically bulldozed through everybody. The problem with that, because they are basically responsible for the 99% of the research that we have as nutrition, and as we start realizing that it is not as accurate as we thought, such as cholesterol, as we learn more and more and more that the dietary cholesterol does not affect our internal cholesterol, if you will, we don't really have any other proven research to look back towards. This also creates a lot of confusion because often, including yourself right now, as you might be sitting there thinking this, wondering, all right, so I always hear this, but then I hear this, and then you also hear this, and you also hear this, and you don't know what to believe. This is even made worse with documentaries that come out that also say something on this side, with many professionals and experts saying, how could it be anything other than this? And also experts on this side saying the same thing. I think a documentary that is a perfect example of this is What the Health. If you watch that, you will see many educated people, many passionate people discussing these theories about how animal products are terrible for you and how it's been proven science that we don't need them, and they have the facts to back it up. However, now we know that 99% of our research is coming from two dudes that I basically refer to as Cheney and Rumsfeld, and a lot of their work is being questioned. You can see this in Good Calorie, Bad Calorie by Gary Taubes, I think his name is, and even more so in newer Nina Teichel's book, The Big Fat Surprise, really goes into how a lot of this science was flawed, but it's science and it's still there. Movies like What the Health can very easily quote the references of this science and say, how can it be questioned? This is what science says. Where in return, other documentaries that are going to try to say that the paleothenic diet or eating like a caveman or eating more meat or eating saturated fat is healthy because we know this science that came from Stammler and Keys is in many ways false, in many ways questioned, so our documentary is correct. And in return, you end up sitting in the middle, not having a clue what's going on. This is also a great example of why both sides get accused of cherry picking, because What the Health, for example, didn't necessarily cherry pick, but they went back to research that right now we're questioning if is
true or completely false, and they used it as if it was basically law, not really accepting or mentioning the fact that it's really under scrutiny right now. And the other side will choose facts that is kind of pseudoscience or voodoo science or hearsay, because they are questioning the science that we were taught is law. So I kind of went like all over the place and got a bit off topic, but fact number 2 is Jeremiah Stammler and Ansel Keys were not nice guys. And if you want to look more into that, it's super simple. Just start to Google it. And if you want to throw some names behind it, you can throw like Nina Teicholz behind it, Gary Taubes, Dave Asprey, the Bulletproof Coffee guy, or you can simply just search it and look for more open blogs where people are discussing it, not necessarily the government websites, because I don't think they're going to say anything bad about their boys.
And just like that, I'm standing again. It is like magic. I hope you liked the video. If you have any comments or questions or think I'm right or wrong, comment. This is important, man. I'm not doing these things to watch myself on YouTube. I want to start a conversation, and I want to help people get out of the situation they're in, or I was in, prevent the situation I had to go through. If it's your kids, if it's you, if it's whoever. Comment, ask your questions, let me know what you think, and yeah, I want to know what you learned. So, and with that being said, subscribe if you guys like the channel. Hit that bell wherever it is if you want to actually be notified, or just subscribe, because I'm really going to change the way of this platform, and it's only gonna get cooler. So if you guys want to check out my other socials like the blogs and the podcast and whatever else I'm doing, I'm big on Instagram. Check out my website. That's the easiest way to find everything, at gtsgermany.com. Basically type that into any of the other socials and everything will appear. It's magic. Guys, hope you subscribe. See you soon.